It's Sunday evening. The clock reads 7 p.m. You're sitting in the living room of a house you spent decades building. The kids are grown. The bedrooms are empty. The toys are gone. The house is quiet. You should feel accomplished. But instead, you can't shake a nagging question. Why don't I feel more financially secure? Maybe you could have saved more. Maybe you should have invested earlier. Maybe you spent too much trying to give your family the life they deserved. You helped pay for college. You took care of aging parents. You covered unexpected medical bills, vacations, home repairs, and countless expenses that seemed important at the time. And now, in your 50s, retirement doesn't feel as close as you'd hoped. Something inside you tells you to stop focusing on what you should have done and focus on what you can do starting today. It's Friday afternoon. The clock reads 1:45 p.m. You're at work when your boss, Scott, notices something different. "Everything okay?" he asks. "We missed you at the steakhouse for lunch." You smile and tell him you're fine. The truth is, you could have afforded the lunch. But for the first time, you realize that one $70 meal wasn't just lunch. It was another small step away from the retirement you've been dreaming about. Back at your desk, you pull out your calculator. You run the numbers again, just to remind yourself. Investing an extra few $100s every month over the next 15 years could add tens, or even hundreds, of thousands of dollars to your retirement savings, thanks to compound growth. For the first time, saving for your future feels more rewarding than an expensive lunch. Later that evening, you're driving home in your truck when your mind wanders to the monthly payment. Then it wanders to the interest rate. Then to the credit cards sitting in your wallet. One of them still carries a balance at nearly 27%. Another was opened years ago just to get a discount on a table saw at the home improvement store and never closed. You start doing the math. You always did the math. You just never acted on it. When you get home, you sit down at the kitchen table and create a plan to eliminate your high-interest debt once and for all. You remind yourself that every dollar you pay toward a credit card charging 20% interest is like earning a guaranteed 20% return on your money, something that's incredibly difficult to match through investing alone. It's like trying to fill a bucket with water while someone drills holes in the bottom. Until you stop the leaks, you'll never get ahead. From that moment on, paying off expensive debt becomes your first financial priority. A few weeks later, on a quiet Wednesday morning at 7 a.m., your phone rings. It's your son. His voice is shaky. He's been in a fender bender 2 states away and needs money for a tow truck and emergency repairs. You don't hesitate to help. Then he tells you how much he needs. You open your bank account and realize you don't have enough cash available. For a brief moment, you consider dipping into your retirement savings. That's when reality hits. Life doesn't stop throwing curveballs just because you're getting closer to retirement. Medical bills, home repairs, helping your children, or unexpected job changes can happen at any time. You also realize something else. That old advice about keeping only $1,000 in savings may not be enough for real life. So you make another commitment. You begin building a true emergency fund with the goal of saving 6 to 12 months' worth of living expenses in a high-yield savings account. The following Tuesday morning, you meet with a financial advisor to review your retirement plan. One topic surprises you more than any other: Social Security. You've always assumed you'd start collecting benefits as soon as you became eligible. It seemed like the obvious choice. But the advisor shows you projections comparing claiming early versus waiting a few more years. The difference is significant. You realize that patience could mean receiving hundreds of additional dollars every month for the rest of your life. You leave the meeting understanding that timing matters, and that delaying benefits, when financially possible, can strengthen your retirement security. The next Saturday morning, you and your spouse sit at the kitchen table with coffee, a legal pad, and a calculator. For the first time, you don't estimate what retirement might cost. You write everything down: housing, healthcare, groceries, insurance, travel, entertainment, taxes. As the list grows, something unexpected happens. The uncertainty begins to fade. You discover that creating a retirement budget isn't restrictive, it's empowering. Retirement stops being an abstract dream and starts becoming a realistic plan. Months later, headlines begin flashing across every news channel. The market is crashing. Panic selling accelerates. You check your retirement account and watch the balance fall. Your finger hovers over the sell button. Then you pause. You remember every downturn you've already lived through and every recovery that followed. You remind yourself that successful investors don't panic every time the market drops. You close the app and walk away. Sometimes the best financial decision is simply staying the course. A few days later, another mortgage statement arrives in the mail. Normally, you'd file it away without a second thought. Instead, you start imagining retirement without that monthly payment. You calculate how much flexibility you'd have if your house were paid off. The idea is freeing. You decide to make extra principal payments whenever possible, knowing that even small additional payments today could reduce financial stress years from now. One rainy Wednesday afternoon, while organizing old paperwork, you come across a folder labeled Insurance. You realize some policies haven't been reviewed in years. Your children are grown now. Your financial situation has changed. Your needs are different than they were 20 years ago. You schedule time to review your health, home, life, and long-term care coverage, making sure everything still aligns with the life you've built. Not long after, your entire family gathers for Sunday dinner. You watch your children laugh around the table and quietly ask yourself a difficult question. If something happened to me tomorrow, would everyone know what to do? Would they know where important documents are? Who has legal authority to make decisions? How your assets should be handled? The following week, you finally update your will, beneficiary designations, healthcare directives, and powers of attorney. Not because you expect the worst, but because you want to make life easier for the people you love most. Then, one Friday morning on your drive to work, you hear an interview with someone who started a consulting business in their mid-50s. Another guest built a successful online business after retirement. Someone else teaches classes part-time simply because they enjoy it. You realize retirement planning isn't only about cutting expenses. It's also about continuing to create opportunities. An extra few $100s each month, consistently invested over the next decade, could have a meaningful impact on your financial future. As the months pass, you notice something remarkable. You didn't receive a big inheritance. You didn't win the lottery. You didn't discover a secret investment strategy. You simply changed your habits. You spent with intention. You eliminated debt. You saved consistently. You planned ahead. And slowly, almost without noticing, the anxiety that once followed you everywhere began to disappear. You finally understood that financial freedom isn't built in one dramatic moment. It's built one thoughtful decision at a time. And perhaps the most important lesson of all, it's never too late to change the direction of your life. And if you make these 10 moves over the next few years, you'll put yourself in a much stronger position than millions of people who never take action at all. Thanks for watching Life Compass. If you found this video helpful, subscribe and join us as we navigate money, purpose, and a better future together.